In a move that has sent shockwaves through the international community, Hungary has stunned the world by announcing its intention to join the BRICS alliance, a powerful economic and political bloc led by China and Russia, and increasingly seen as a counterweight to Western institutions. This historic decision marks the first time an EU member state has formally aligned itself with a group widely regarded as a rival to Western influence and values. The move challenges decades of European unity, upending the post-Cold War order, and raises urgent questions about NATO's cohesion, the future of the EU, and the stability of the continent as a whole. For leaders in Brussels and Washington, Hungary's dramatic pivot is a direct challenge to the Western alliance, one that could inspire other nations to reconsider their allegiances and potentially fracture the unity that has defined Europe for generations. Prime Minister Viktor Orban frames this as a pragmatic and necessary step, declaring that Hungary's future lies in the East, not with what he calls the failed policies and declining influence of Brussels. He argues that joining BRICS will open new economic opportunities and strengthen Hungary's sovereignty on the world stage. But critics, both at home and abroad, warn that this is a dangerous gamble, one that risks Hungary's isolation from its closest partners, threatens its economic stability, and could undermine the very foundations of European cooperation. With BRICS gaining momentum on the global stage and Hungary now providing a crucial foothold inside the European Union, Beijing and Moscow have scored a significant strategic victory, potentially shifting the balance of power in Europe. The world now watches with bated breath as a new line is drawn across Europe, a modern-day Iron Curtain, and the stakes for the continent and for the global order have never been higher. Hungary's break with the EU is the result of years of escalating conflict under Viktor Orban's leadership. Orban has repeatedly defied Brussels on issues from immigration to media freedom, eroding democratic norms and facing EU sanctions. His outreach to Russia and China, including a controversial visit to Moscow, has infuriated EU and NATO partners. The rift with Poland, once a close ally, has left Hungary isolated within the bloc. Despite condemnation, Orban has doubled down on his nationalist vision, portraying himself as a defender of Hungarian sovereignty. Joining BRICS is the culmination of this strategy, a bold move to forge Hungary's own path in a multipolar world. For Orban, it's not retreat, but a declaration of independence from Brussels and Washington. To consolidate his influence, Orban spearheaded the Patriots for Europe alliance in the European Parliament, uniting nationalist and far-right parties. Their goal reclaimed national sovereignty from what they call an overreaching Brussels bureaucracy. With the slogan, "Make Europe Great Again," the group channels global right-wing populism and public discontent over immigration and economic stagnation. The alliance is more than symbolic. It wields real legislative power, threatening to gridlock EU decision-making. This bloc provided Orban with political cover and tested the waters for Hungary's pivot to BRICS. By building a coalition of Eurosceptics, Orban laid the groundwork for his most radical move yet. The Patriots for Europe alliance showed that skepticism of the Western-led order runs deep within the continent. Orban has long criticized the EU's economic model, arguing Europe is falling behind dynamic Asian economies. His government's Eastern opening policy has brought Chinese investment and deepened energy ties with Russia, making Hungary a bridge between East and West. These moves have raised questions about Hungary's commitment to the EU and accusations of undermining European standards. Critics warn Hungary is trading long-term security for short-term gains, increasing vulnerability to authoritarian influence. The decision to join BRICS formalizes Hungary's economic pivot, signaling a break from Western institutions. Orban sees this as economic independence, a bet on BRICS's growth over Europe's stagnation. It's a high-stakes gamble, severing old ties in hopes of new prosperity. The BRICS energy revolution is rapidly transforming the global power landscape. BRICS' growing influence is powered by deepening nuclear energy cooperation, with Russia and China leading the charge as the primary architects of this new era. Together, these nations are building a self-sustaining ecosystem for nuclear technology, research, and development, largely outside Western control. Their collaboration is not just about energy, but about forging a new geopolitical alliance that challenges the traditional dominance of the West. Russia's Rosatom and leading Chinese firms now collaborate on advanced reactors, innovative fuel cycles, and next-generation safety protocols, extending their technological reach to new BRICS members like Egypt and Saudi Arabia. These partnerships are opening doors for emerging economies to access cutting-edge nuclear solutions. This partnership includes comprehensive training programs, international scholarships, and knowledge exchanges, ensuring long-term loyalty, technological dependence, and the creation of a new generation of nuclear experts within the BRICS sphere. For Hungary, already deeply invested in nuclear energy and seeking alternatives to Western energy constraints, BRICS membership offers access to shared technology, collaborative research, and alternative financing, effectively bypassing EU political hurdles and restrictions. The Pact's nuclear plant expansion, managed by Rosatom, is a flagship project that symbolizes this new direction, cementing Hungary's place in this emerging energy order and signaling its commitment to a diversified energy future. By joining BRICS, Hungary is betting its energy future on Eastern partners, not Brussels, and aligning itself with a bloc that promises stability and innovation. The alliance is reshaping the global energy landscape, and Hungary wants in, eager to secure its place at the forefront of the BRICS energy revolution. The Russia-China partnership in nuclear energy is central to their strategy for global influence. Russia brings expertise, China brings manufacturing and financing. Together, they offer turnkey solutions to developing nations, often with better terms than the West. These deals create long-term dependencies, tying client states to Moscow and Beijing for decades. Their focus on innovation, like floating nuclear plants and next-gen reactors, keeps them ahead of Western competitors. Hungary's PAX-2 project, led by Rosatom, has faced EU resistance, but BRICS membership secures its future. By aligning with the world's emerging nuclear superpowers, Hungary aims for energy sovereignty and technological advancement. It's a strategic shift, even if it means alienating traditional Western partners. Hungary's move to join BRICS is a direct blow to the idea of European unity. For decades, the European Union has prided itself on presenting a united front, both politically and economically, to the rest of the world. Hungary's decision to align with BRICS, a bloc often seen as a counterweight to Western influence, signals a dramatic shift in the continent's balance of power. The EU now faces a crisis. One of its own member states is formally allied with a rival bloc, exposing deep ideological divisions that have simmered beneath the surface for years. This move not only challenges the EU's authority, but also raises questions about the future direction of the Union itself. Economically, Hungary's integration with the EU single market is at risk, with potential for trade disruption, loss of investment, and internal penalties. Businesses operating across borders now face uncertainty, and Hungary could see reduced access to EU funds and markets, impacting jobs and growth. Socially, the decision deepens the divide between liberal and nationalist visions for Europe, fueling polarization and the rise of far-right movements. Protests and counter-protests erupt across the continent as citizens grapple with what Hungary's exit means for their own futures and identities. The EU must now choose, enforce its rules and risk a painful split, or acquiesce and risk further fragmentation. Leaders are under immense pressure to respond decisively, knowing that their actions will set the tone for years to come. Either way, the dream of a united Europe has been shaken to its core. The sense of shared purpose that once defined the EU is now clouded by uncertainty and mistrust. Hungary's defection sets a precedent that could unravel the entire project. Other nations with growing Eurosceptic movements may now feel emboldened to follow suit, threatening the very fabric of European integration. The future of the EU is more uncertain than ever, as leaders and citizens alike confront the possibility of a fragmented continent and a new era in European history. Analysts agree, Hungary's move is a watershed moment for Europe and the West. Dr. Evelyn Reed calls it the biggest challenge to the post-Cold War order, arguing Orban is betting the EU lacks the will to respond. Economist Klaus Schmidt warns of catastrophic economic fallout, as Hungary's trade is deeply tied to the EU. Military experts say Hungary's NATO membership is now a liability, forcing the alliance to wall off a member state. For Moscow and Beijing, this is a strategic win. proof that their alternative vision appeals even within the West. BRICS gains a platform to influence Europe from the inside, shattering the narrative of Western unity. Hungary's defection sends a message to the global South. The world order is changing. The consequences for Europe and beyond are profound. Hungary's pivot to BRICS is more than a policy shift. It's a declaration that the old rules no longer apply. The EU and NATO now face a defining test: respond forcefully and risk escalation, or tread lightly and risk further fragmentation. The choices made in the coming weeks will shape Europe's future. The ideological battles of the past are back, with globalism and nationalism clashing on the world stage. Hungary's move is a symptom of a larger struggle for a new world order. The stakes are global, affecting economies, security, and the values that define societies. As alliances shift and old certainties fade, the world holds its breath. The future is being written now, and everyone has a stake in what comes next.